Lee, behind the scenes here, if you don't mind, pull up our Montgomery camera on the Alpha Insurance Camera Network. And we're also still, I would imagine, going to have some use for our Prattville camera too. So this is now tornado warning number 2. This has just been issued for parts of Elmore and northern Montgomery County. Now, the way they have drawn this and where the warning is, let me just put this in motion before I go ahead and make this statement, because we want to make sure we're completely accurate with this. Those of you watching us in downtown Montgomery, this couplet is just north of you, but not by much. Now, this is important here because we're in a pretty big area. I'm going to put a stop to this motion. If we've got a tornado in here, this is right over Millbrook right now. Those of you who are watching us from Alabama River Parkway, for example, we need to treat this as if there's a possible tornado on the ground. There continues to be a stark couplet. This is on the east side of Millbrook, just north of the Alabama River, but very close to being right on it. And I mean very close to being right on it. That's it, by the way. That's the Alabama River. You see, there is Jackson Lake Island. So if we've got a tornado on the ground, a lot of you familiar with where Jackson Lake Island is, this is probably 3 or 4 miles northeast of Jackson Lake Island. So all of those river homes on River Parkway, you need to be in your safe spot because we're very close to this. The river then continues to snake its way northward. That's where that possible tornado is going to be. I would imagine if this holds together, this is Wetumpka's turn. And Wetumpka is included in that tornado warning. We're going to have some use for this camera. And if we could, either Lee or Tarlisha and Shawnee back in the control room here, if you could possibly do this, if we could adjust this camera in Wetumpka to be pointed off to the southwest. That's the direction that we're going to need to move this in. I'll lose this and give you all an opportunity to do that. But I think this possible tornado is going to move right over Wetumpka, so I'd like to be able to use that camera to see if we can find this as it moves its way through. Again, there's the Alabama River, there is Wetumpka. This is knocking on Wetumpka's door. You need to be in your safe place right now, from Coushatta to Wetumpka. Eclectic, you're the next one down the line. Downtown Montgomery, you are okay with this. Really, really close call, but you are okay. I'll show you this. We'll bring up our Montgomery camera here. It's not a lot of fun. I mean, it's pouring rainfall and there are some strong winds moving through the capital city, but our possible tornado that includes just north of downtown Montgomery is just that. It will pass just north here, but that camera is shaking. So we most definitely have some strong and gusty winds. Lee, do me a favor, pull the data camera up with that, the one that has the live data with downtown Montgomery.
I don't trust it because it's saying temperatures at 45, which is not
looks like
accurate.
It might be off. I wonder if the anemometer still works. It's got winds out of the east now at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and I would imagine to move this camera like it's moving it, it's got to be even stronger than that. But again, I stress, in the capital city of Montgomery, you are okay for the time being. The towns that I'm looking at especially is Wetumpka. And we're going to run into a problem with this, as we often do in this part of the world. We are not in Tornado Alley in the Plains, where supercell thunderstorms move through, and they are surrounded by clear skies, and we can see straight through the core of these storms to where a tornado is on the ground clear as day. That is not how Alabama tends to work. It tends to work like this. This is what we're going to try to have to figure out if there's a tornado in there. Good luck with that. I'm not going to be able to do it. We're trained to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to pull this off. These are going to be rain-wrapped tornadoes. You will not be able to see these coming. The warning that you get comes from the National Weather Service, and it comes from us telling you to get in your safe place. You need to do that right now in Wetumpka. In 5 minutes, we will deal with that couplet moving through the area. That is the Coosa River that you are looking at. And again, this camera, roughly speaking, is pointed off to the southwest as that area of circulation continues to move on by. So that's what we're watching, and I don't like that, Lee. I don't like that at all. That is a little brighter signature that is starting to show up there. Again, so there's Jackson Lake Island. That's River Road. This is part of the Alabama River that's snaking its way by. This is Elmore Road right there. And obviously that is Wetumpka that is going to be bearing the brunt of this in less than 5 minutes' time. So that's your possible tornado. That's Fort Toulouse Road right in there, Charles Avenue, and downtown Wetumpka, which is where we've got that camera on top of the Wind Creek Hotel and Casino. So at this point, the area of distance here from that possible tornado in Wetumpka is probably only about 5 miles. There's not that much time. Lee, is this confirmed, by the way, or is this still radar indicated?
This is still radar indicated, but we are also receiving storm reports from the other tornado near Booth. So just another, confirmation that this line of strong storms and potential tornadoes are producing damage.
Are they saying anything specific in terms of the damage?
So
yeah, go ahead and read those off if you don't mind.
We have trees blocking roads and some roof damage in northeast Watauga County near Booth, and then we have more reports of roof damage along with trees down across roads in northwestern Booth.
All right.
Probable tornado.
Lee alluding to some damage. Possible tornado. Again, we had the confirmed tornado, so I think at this point it's very likely to say that was damage from the tornado. That was in the Booth community. That is now in the clear. We have no more problems in the Booth community. Our imminent problems right now are going to be moving into the Wetumpka area. Thankfully, at the moment, I do not see anything showing up on our CC map, our correlation coefficient, that suggests that there is debris with this. But boy, the area of spin and rotation, it's fairly clear as day, folks. There's not a whole lot of ambiguity with this. Cusada Road there, that runs north to south on the left side of your screen. Again, that's Fort Toulouse Road. This is where your possible tornado is, right in there, heading right at Wetumpka. That is, I believe, going to be a direct connection to Wetumpka. And I just really hope that it's just a broad area of spin, and that is all it is and nothing more, because I'm going to tell you right now, we are not going to be able to see this. There is just a ton of rain that is falling in the Wetumpka area right now, so visibility is going to end up being near zero. And again, we stress we do not want to rely on you necessarily for these reports. If you are in Wetumpka, you've got to be in your safe spot right now. You are out of time in Wetumpka. Do it now. Just hold off with this for 20 or 25 minutes. We'll then move this on out and we'll be good to go. I think it's going to be a relatively quick hitting affair, but this is about ready to skirt right into the downtown Wetumpka area here, really in just a couple of minutes. So other areas, we don't want to get just so focused on one spot. There is Redland Elementary. You're included in the polygon, but I think the tornado is going to end up passing just off to your north. There's Walsboro. There is Eclectic. Based on the track of this, as we see it right now, and again we stress, these are not likely to necessarily hold together through the whole 50-mile journey as we plot these out, but this is assuming it does. You start getting into the Wetumpka area, obviously we've been mentioning that. There's Eclectic by about 3:08, so you are looking at roughly 15 minutes from now. Eclectic, you don't have that much more time to go ahead and take your precautions and get into your safe spot. Farther down the line from there, you get into Elmore County High School. There's Kalijah, there's Reeltown, there is Lake Martin, closer toward a quarter after 3 o'clock. But we'll worry about you later down the line. I don't say that to be passive about you. I say it because these areas of rotation have not had a history of surviving that entire duration necessarily. So we'll see. We will play this by ear to an extent. I am much more worried about these spots right here. Lee, did they just issue another one, or did they just kind of reignite that one?
They just reignited it, and they're also talking about how rotation is continuing to increase southwest of Wetumpka.
Yeah, and all right, so we've got the Wetumpka issue here, and we don't want to forget about this. We still have the possible tornado with this guy in southern Coosa County. There's the Pentonville area. And Nicksburg, this is still a Stark couplet. This is still a storm that I think is very capable of producing a tornado. But it's getting into Coosa County right now, which is on the periphery of our coverage area. Yeah, that's still very clear as day. Let's check the CC on this. Nothing crazy, thankfully, but that is a very clear-cut signature right in there near the Pentonville area. So that's out there too. Of more imminent concern, though, to me, is what is about ready to move through Wetumpka. Goodness gracious. That has lit up. Folks, that is very likely a tornado right now. There you go. So there is Wetumpka, Boundary Street right now. There's a State Route 14, Millie Francis Street, Shelby Street, and Pine Street, very near County Road 212. This, to me, is a screaming signature that we have a possible tornado. This is going to move right through downtown Wetumpka. And I think it's already there. I think it is there as we speak now. That's your camera in Wetumpka. Not a whole lot to see. Lee, has there been an update on that from them?
There
Are they still rolling with radar indicated?
Yes, they are.
But they did acknowledge the rotation has tightened up a little bit, correct?
Yes, they have.
All right, and we agree with that, mind you. We very much agree that that rotation looks a little bit more significant. I need to bring up one more thing here. Let's see if we're starting to get some signs. Oh boy, that is not radar indicated anymore, folks. That is a debris signature. Even though we don't have it yet in the warning, we're going to tell you. That is a confirmed tornado on the ground right now. We have a tornado on the ground now, we think, just southwest of downtown Wetumpka. The time is now. You're out of time. Wetumpka, you've got to be in that state. Look at that. Goodness gracious. Lee, that is the most pronounced signature that we have seen out of this, out of any of the storms that we have had so far today. You are looking at a significant signature of a tornado right now, right over downtown Wetumpka. I would be shocked if that wasn't a tornado on the ground right now. So we'll take one more look at this.
Confirmed.
It is confirmed. We are getting a little bit of some clearing here. You see that, Lee? Look at toward the right side of the screen here. In the control room, can we pan to the right a little bit with this?
Oh.
A little bit more left, if you don't mind. Boy, this is asking a lot, I know. Look at this. You see the low-lying clouds there. Go a little bit more right, if you don't mind. We're going to follow this area right here. Keep going to the right if we could keep panning with this. Keep going a little bit. There it is. I think that might be it. You see that right there? That might be a tornado on the ground. Keep going right with this, guys. Keep on panning right if we could. That might be it. That might be the right-hand scope of how far this turns. Boy, that was tough to tell, folks, because this is a blurry signature, but I think we may very well have just seen that tornado going through.
We have damage on South Main Street in Wetumpka.
All right, we have damage on South Main Street in Wetumpka. I want this to go as far to the right as we possibly can, and if we can't go any more right, we're going to have to go the other way here. But we've very much got a tornado. A little bit far, now we're going around. That's all right. We're trying to just find our bearings here. All right, so still watching this. We're just trying to see what we see. You're doing this with me. We're trying to find this live on air with you. Lee is reporting there has been some damage in Main Street in the Wetumpka area. We're continuing to just scan this as the rotation now starts to work toward the northeast of downtown Wetumpka, and I got a feeling we did catch a little bit of that. And boy, it's just tough to tell here at this point what we're kind of looking at. And this is now just slowly and subtly starting to move its way to the northeast of Wetumpka. If you don't mind, Tarlisha and Shawnee back in the control room, I'm going to get off of this briefly. I trust y'all to be able to see if you can kind of find this now. That's your tornado right in there. It is now just to the northeast of Wetumpka. That is Tallahassee Highway. That is State Route 53, and that right there is your tornado. Right there. That's 14 running right in there. That's a fairly big roadway. And that is downtown Wetumpka with the Wind Creek Hotel and Casino that we have been trying to show you this, and where I do think we caught a quick snippet of a tornado that was on the ground just about a minute or two ago. And this is still, to me, high evidence that we still have a tornado on the ground. We'll throw our correlation coefficient back up with this. That is a ringing endorsement here that we've got big problems. Tornado on the ground now near State Route 53. On the northeast side of Wetumpka. We'll back this up just a little bit. There's Georgia Road, that is State Route 9. The tornado right now, new scan coming in, is right over Georgia Road, just north of 14. So there it is. That is your confirmed tornado right in there. This is going to ride Georgia Road on the northeast side of Wetumpka in the near term here. In the not so near term, but still close enough that you're running out of time, is that town right there. That is Eclectic. So Eclectic, you're going to need to be watching this.